Yo,
What up, man?
what's going on, y'all?
Thank y'all for tuning in once again, supporting us for the. How many shows is this? Like 80?
This is episode number 75, believe it or not.
What up, man? 75.
What's going on, y'all?
That's what's up, man. We keeping it going. Man. So what's been up, man? It's a gloomy Sunday. I ain't want to get
Man,
up for work. I ain't want to get up for work today.
hmm,
I was taking a nap, chilling.
that's how it goes sometimes. Regina Angel, what's going on? Top fans, Regina Angel.
What's up, yo?
Um, yeah, man, be sure to share this for us. Like I said, it's episode 75. I look, you know, staggeringly rough right now.
Hey,
I didn't know it was, I didn't know it's this bad right now, man.
the barbers just opened back up, and you don't want to go because they just opened back up. There's so many people in line waiting to get a
Oh yeah,
cut,
crazy.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
And the idea that you said at the beginning of this is to charge what double or more for a cut because people are gonna be so thirsty, man.
Oh
Man,
man, I seen people that used to charge like $10 for kids haircuts, charging 17. I
ooh,
seen people charging down there 30 for a cut in the lineup.
couldn't be me.
I was about to say, well, it couldn't be you.
Nah, no, I could still, if I didn't know how to do it myself, I still had to go get shaved and lined up and all that type of stuff. But nope. Mm-mm.
Regina said it's crazy busy. They say they never raised their prices though. Good, y'all should be getting all the business. Once people be like, oh hell no, I ain't paying. You know what I'm saying? Double for any services. Although it is good business, I guess, for the company. Shit, right now, all the independents. This is where all the independents should be cleaning up right now.
Mm-hmm. See, if you're the best of the best, like people know that you raw, and they don't want to go nowhere else, then you can tax and get away with it. But
That's true. You shouldn't be a dick about it though. That's
hmm
not cool.
but at the same
Uh,
time, it's a pandemic. People don't got money like that, so
that's what I'm saying. So barbers and hairdressers out of work, and they should be like, oh, everybody else is out of work too. So I'm gonna charge my normal price, or even if it's like a couple dollar increase. Like I get it. They got bills and shit to pay too. But they like, come on now, double.
hmm that's ridiculous. But I wouldn't be getting my hair cut right now. It's a high risk to catch it getting a haircut. Or going to a restaurant. I'm cool on both of them. I still do the takeout, but you know, if I do the rest, all right. If I eat at the restaurant, I got to be the patio. You know what I'm saying? They say it's medium risk of you catching corona, but if you eat inside, it's high risk. You go to the gym, high risk. You go
Uh,
to a sporting event, high risk. You go to church, high risk. You know what I'm saying? People gonna be thirsty to go to church as soon as they can, and it's gonna be bad. So the same church that that you attend is gonna be the same church that your funeral gonna be in. So
Damn.
if you want to go to church that bad, you most definitely gonna be in the you most definitely gonna be in the church when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's funny. Virginia said a dude walked in and ordered me to pay and offered to pay me double if I dunked the client in my chair. Sorry, dude. No, yeah, you can't do that.
hmm
Yeah, you can't do
What
that.
she,
You can't
what she
just like,
do? She do hair or something?
yeah,
Oh
I
man,
think you do hair.
like whatever you do, is it extra cleaning procedures, Regina? Is it like more time spent cleaning? Are you losing clients because you got to clean so much? That's what I want to know.
Is it slow because everything got to be by appointment? Which he said is busy, so it must not be that slow. And if it's that busy, I just hope y'all doing the precautions necessary to do what y'all got to do to keep people
Right.
safe.
Keep them safe and keep yourself safe.
So this is something I should have looked up. Something that you had just said that you had just talked about was this church. Like this is something I should have. And even though that was a flawless segue, everybody know we talk. Everybody know what we talking about. I picked up on the segue. I don't know if they did, but there ain't no secret. Everybody know what we talking about. This show. So what I didn't see was our churches. Like, would it be this weekend or next weekend? I would assume they're gonna let you eat in a restaurant and you can go to church by next weekend. But if anybody got any information, if anybody went to church today, if anybody knows that it's next week, let us know. I probably should have looked it up before the show, but I didn't. 'Cause I wasn't even thinking about that aspect of it. But yeah, like I wonder how many churches are going to open the doors and allow everybody to come back. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to still do like the live shows that church has been doing, or what? Like I'm interested to see how it go.
Yeah, I'm interested too. I mean, because pastors then decided to still have church, and the pastor didn't die, and people in the congregation died. You know what I'm saying? During this pandemic, so
Ridiculous.
if
So
I was a
stupid.
pastor, I would be like, look, we're gonna continue to keep people safe, especially. All right, we're talking about the church when usually the congregation is older. You know what I mean? Usually.
Yes, exactly.
So if I was the pastor, I'm like, look, here's my Cash App or my Venmo. If you want to do the tithe, we're gonna be, we got an account set up for that. And other than that, we'll do it through, Facebook or whatever, for a long minute.
Right. But I mean, you got some greedy churches out here. Saying they don't care, they just want the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to just say it like that, but they want the money. I can't say it another way. Like the people that like just go above and beyond to to like, hey, don't stop sending in that money. You know what I'm saying? Like we get it. Come in, drop off your money, and go back home and be safe. Like those are the people that I worry about. Hold on, Regina said. She said yes. You have to barbicide down station and alcohol everything after every client. Probably takes an extra 6 minutes. Um, 15 minutes for the barbicide to work though.
Oh,
That cut into some of your times, I'm
yeah,
sure. Of course, it's better to be, back to working and doing that anyway. But I'm sure that, that's an extra 15 minutes where you could have been, at least starting somebody hair out and how long the average
right,
haircut take.
right. Because look, I'm guessing I'm guessing she works in a salon, so shit, women be in a chair for like 2 hours, getting their hair done. So, just take that. All right, take 15 minutes to work. Let's say you got 8 clients you did that day or something, which is a lot. Now that I think about it, I think 8 clients in a day. If you work like 8 hours, maybe more. But anyways, nigga, that's 15 minutes. So that's 2 hours. That's 2 hours. If you got 8 clients, that's 2 hours. Waiting for this barbicide to disinfect the chair. 2 hours. So that's most definitely cutting into your money.
You know, so like we said, when you think about it like that, and as you like so all that time add up at the end of the day, where potentially if you didn't have that, you could have fit in one more client or two more clients or something like that, and that would have been the extra money you could have made in your day. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at the difference, um, like that, that little bit of time add up though.
Yeah, it does. But
So
but yeah, back to the churches though. So you mean to tell me, excuse me, that people still bringing in tithes for the week, risking catch a corona. Even the person that's the treasurer at the church is counting it. Now they got to touch the money or touch the checks, whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? I don't know about that.
So let me say this. Let me say what Regina said. I want to get to what Ebony J said in her comment. So Regina said, I forgot I can pull it up on the screen for you guys. So Regina said, the thing that's hurting me is that we're overlapping people. Start one, work on another. We can't do that. Nah, that's now, especially at the beginning, that's definitely not the way to go.
Right.
Yeah, tell them to cut it out.
Right. Right.
Don't do that, man.
You're not getting the quality you need for that one person, and it's even more people in the salon at a time.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So let me see what Ebony J said. She said, first of all, she said some churches had services today. I wonder how that went for the first day back. Then she said, it's not about greed in most cases. It's about keeping the connection. I don't know if I agree with that.
Like keeping a connection with what? The Holy Spirit in the building, in the church, you think?
Like I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, so it can't be about keeping the connection. I get it. Some older people in the church might not know how to do the Zoom conferences and the the video chats and all that stuff. But keeping a connection though, while you got a disease going around, I just don't agree with it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I just don't agree with it. My aunt said some churches have drop-off offering. See, I would prefer that over like going into a building or like having to walk it up. I would prefer that. I would definitely prefer, like Byron said, starting up like a Venmo account or a Cash App or something like that, where there's no contact at all. You know what I'm saying? Like just no contact at all.
Right, exactly. And but I do like the idea of like a drive-in, church service, because it's getting warm outside. At the church, they got a big enough parking lot. People just pull up, park their cars. All the pastor needs is a speaker. You know what I'm saying? The choir, I guess they can sing from the cars. Like I don't know.
or no, just stand. Stand some feet apart. I did read a news story about in Ohio where like church is going to be. They didn't say restricted from singing, but it's like don't like they can't tell you not to sing, but like don't sing. You know what I'm saying? Like don't sing. Because people sing and you spit and your breath and what I'm saying, there's all type of stuff. So I did read that story.
Hey, it's gonna be hard to hit the high note when you gotta suck that extra air in, but you got a mask on. You got people passing out. Yeah,
they're gonna be dying. Just like Regina said, she said it's hot as hell under the mask. She said I had sweat running down my face inside the mask. Exactly. My aunt said she said you touch money when you go to the store. So when you were talking about the treasurer, got to count the money and stuff.
Yeah, but some stores still taking cash, but some is strictly card. So
I didn't go to. Well, I didn't go to, but I rode past a restaurant that said that they were like it was like a poster board saying like now accepting Cash App or whatever. So I guess what I'm saying, like I guess they not do one of the people that's not doing cash at all. I don't know for sure, but I would assume, especially as like something new, just a new barrier, a new step to keep some space in between people.
Yeah. I mean, before we dive into more, about the church or whatever, I got a question for you. Do you think this pandemic is going to change the way we live forever? Or do you think we'll get back to normal?
At least for a couple of years, honestly. It took roughly about 10 years for the Spanish flu, like 10 years after the Spanish flu, for them to get back to like what they considered normal before all this stuff started. So you add in our technology, I would say at least a couple of years. Shouldn't be no decade, but at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
What about you? What you think? You thinking?
Yeah, at least a couple of years as well. But let's think of 9/11. 9/11 changed the travel industry forever. This might change damn near every industry, known
For
to
sure.
mankind, for real. Because,
For sure.
every industry is based on contact. So, for the most, well, not every, well, a service industry for sure is based on some type of contact. Somebody doing a service to you, they got to get close to you. So, how long people gonna wear masks for though? Like, people get tired of
Yeah.
wearing a mask.
It's tough. I think Angel sent me a story today about somebody's like is wearing a mask killing you like slowly. There's talking about like CO2 poisoning because you're wearing a mask, so the CO2 that you usually expel is like not going away. And I'm like, man, I don't like how long are you wearing these masks? You know what I'm saying? like how long are you in a place where you gotta wear these masks? So before you get outside to where it's fresh air, where you're not around people or in a car or whatever. Like if you don't have that much, if you're in a place where you don't have that ability, it's probably not a spot you should be in right now. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Where you can
right.
take a couple of steps and take it and get some fresh air in there. Um, you wearing a mask for hours on end without no break or taking it off. I don't think it's going to be killing you, but I do understand like your oxygen levels getting short because all the CO2 not getting out. But I don't know about if it rises to the level of is my mask killing me? That's a
Hey,
little dramatic.
hey, wearing a mask this week at work took a long minute to get used to. I'm getting used to it a little bit, but I can't wait until I get back in the car and so I can take it off for sure.
I, I'm with you. I love wearing it in stores though. I love it. Love it. all people can look at is my eyes, and that's great. You don't know if I'm happy. You don't know if I'm sad. You don't know. You don't know. I love
But
it.
cause you look like, do you feel like you look like a thief, even though this is the norm, saying to wear a mask in the store? Do you still sometimes think people looking at you like a thief? Because before this, they was looking at you like a thief, no mask, right?
For sure. Yeah. Right.
So do you think this make you even more of a thief?
Uh. Yes. Especially like the one I wear is like all you can see is like my eyes, and so if I got my hood on or Epiphany Media merchandise, like all you seeing is this. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I love it.
it's not
Let me see
illegal,
what
right?
hey, it's not illegal, and don't you dare ask me to take it off. Let me see. So my aunt said most churches have online giving, which is great. She said most when they open today had to stay 6 feet apart, wear masks. Ebony J said this is a mental situation. If you look up to your faith, if you look to your faith, you need that connection. And I guess they figure if people are going elsewhere, why not? I understand that.
Yeah, but it's the highest risk, though. The highest risk of a gathering of people. Everybody touching everything. Everybody touching the pews. Everybody touching the wine cups for the communion, the wafers, the Bibles, people singing, giving praise. You know what I'm saying? All this is in the air. You touching stuff. This is a bad situation. And it's been
And
proven, it's been historically proven up to a month ago of what happened if you go to church. Even the
yeah,
pastor is gone, you know,
right.
numerous, like more than one church. So,
And I agree with Ebony J. Well, I agree with you, Ebony, saying that like now, right? So I
yeah,
get
I
it
agree
now.
with
They're
that
like,
too. Yeah. Hmm.
well, people going everywhere now, so we're gonna open up church. I understand it. I'm not saying I would do the same thing, but I get it. But we're talking about weeks ago, like through this whole thing, like or the story we were talking about was a couple, like almost a month ago now, where they're like, keep bringing that money in, like you know what I'm saying? Like we get what they're saying, but keep bringing that money. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
How would you feel if your church got went bankrupt and closed down because they couldn't pay the bills? You know what I'm saying? But you chose to stay at home because you wanted to save yourself. But your church, died during that time, and now you don't even have anywhere to go to church.
I mean, it'd be crazy, but I don't know. Like I don't belong to the church currently, so I can't really say. I'll leave that up for the people that go to church regularly. I mean, I get it. I understand it. Um, but who, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what comes first? Like, is it do your faith come first? Do your health and the health of the people in your house come first? Like, what, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know because, to a lot of people, faith is like the number one most important thing. And I understand that completely. And then to other people, what I'm saying, like the personal health and safety of themselves and their family is the most important. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't
I
know how they
mean,
do it.
right. You got to, you can't, you can't sip the blood from the cup no more.
No,
During communion,
no.
like the pastor, he can't even give you a wafer no more. Like, no, that's not happening. And I probably say the second, I pray that the next best thing to actually receiving the word for the day is, the repast after church. We eating, you know,
Hanging
you
out.
know,
Yeah.
good food. You know, you can't even do that no more. So, I mean, everything is gonna be affected by this, man.
I think so. Let me see. Regina said, I'm way behind the comment. Regina said, all money that comes through our shop, we Lysol before putting it in a drawer. Everything is sanitized. That's the right way to go. It's funny and ridiculous at the same time because, like, so y'all just putting wet money in there. Now, and I ain't saying like y'all dip it in a bucket of Lysol, but the visual of that is just still funny to me. Let me see. My aunt said, I've been to a couple drive-in church services. I think that's the best way to go. I seen some online that look pretty cool. Everybody sitting in their car and instead of like, I mean, you can yell "Amen," but people was blowing their horn when they agree with something. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I thought like a drive-in movie, but on the spiritual side, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
uh, let's see. Ebony J said, uh, they've been they've been doing that for months. I agree. Regina said, I like our go live church services. It's a little bit less time to get ready in the morning. You can just pop on and tune in and get the word and get the connection that Ebony J was talking about.
Right.
All
And you
out,
can share. Hey, you can share with other people too.
right. People that you couldn't get the drag to separate the time, but maybe they at home like everybody else and you share a video, maybe they tune in and watch.
Right. Maybe
Uh,
put a positive perspective on things. During a bad time. So.
for sure. So my aunt said I have to wear her mask and her entire shift. She says I do take it off frequently between customers. Yeah, like you got to give yourself a minute to get some fresh air. Like I said, I don't. Even if you wore it for 8 straight hours, like you wouldn't die at the end of it. It's okay. Let me see.
Hey,
Angel said, "Go ahead." Go ahead.
excuse me. No, I was gonna say, and it's totally acceptable to take a break from wearing your mask when no one's around.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Angel said, I've heard of anxiety levels increase due to shallow breaths, inducing panic attacks for some. Well, that means you have some other underlining issues, and you probably shouldn't be out in public. Oh, not out in
Hey,
public, but you probably be in no situation where you're in close proximity to a bunch of people anyway.
well, I
That's what
say
it seemed like to
this.
me. In my
You know, that could be something too, but that N95 mask is restrictive on your breathing for sure. So a lot of people don't like it because you can barely breathe in there. But it's working. But I
yeah,
mean,
that's
you just feel like you can't
if it was
breathe.
if it was free fresh air, then it would be no point. Like you wouldn't be wearing a mask. You'd be wearing a paper towel or some shit where all the air is free to flow. For that reason, like just
Yeah, yeah,
either that or go buy some oxygen tanks to bring that fresh air, and you can wear the most comfortable mask that you whatever you want to wear. There's no problem. Let me see. Regina said. She said, I had a client in my chair tell me she went to the ER 2 days ago for breathing. Hit and miss, fever. What the fuck? Hospital didn't test her, but gave her a breathing treatment. Yeah, her haircut was over fast. I'm happy to be working again, but no matter what, people always get their hair done, no matter how they feel. It's total BS. I agree. And so not only we're gonna get back to the church stuff in a moment, but not only uh, uh, Regina, I agree with you. So not only are you just worried about the volume of people, you got some people that are just nasty. Like some people just don't care at all, like about themselves or other people. And other people actually got to watch out about it. Somebody go, like you just said, somebody goes to the doctor, goes to the ER or something, and they're like, "Man, I had a busy morning. I had the coronavirus this morning, and then when it got tested, I got to wear this mask." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they don't care. Like some people just don't care. So that's something else that I would be worried about as far as doing public stuff. So not just like these restaurants and gyms. Not saying that they don't want to do what they got to do as far as cleaning and sanitizing. What about the people that just don't give a fuck and they just do whatever they want to do anyway?
All right,
Them the people I'm
exactly. I see a lot of young people not wearing. Excuse me, the bruise, the carbonation. But anyways, I see a lot of young people not wearing masks at all. Just yesterday, they was out kicking it at the bar and everything. So I don't think they care at all about spreading it. You know what I'm saying? When I go to the grocery store and I see somebody without that mask, more than likely it's somebody young.
I agree with that. Young people think they invincible anyway. You know how that go.
Yeah.
Angel said, if they have been sick, they should reschedule. It's crazy talking to Regina. I agree, but like I said, some people just don't care. Like they in a rush to get their feet done, or to buy hair, or to do any of those like beautifying services. That they are so like selfish. It's just what it comes down to, just being selfish to the point that you're going to go to a place and potentially, infect somebody that you really like. Like you might have a favorite hairdresser or a favorite salon that you go to, and now everybody in there is sick because of you, because you were selfish. What it come down to? My mother said, "Holy, the government will help." I don't know what you're saying. I know you use that text to talk thing.
Put it up.
Nobody knows what you be saying sometimes.
Oh, she probably said only. I'm guessing she said only the government.
Yeah, only if the government will help. They not the Fed's not at least.
Nah, they tripping about 1,200, but it ain't even. It's more than 1,200. We're gonna wait till Wednesday to talk about that, but
talk about the politics. Yeah,
like all they had to do is give out 1,200 and nothing else included in the bill, but they can't even do that. But anyways, the government, they're not helping with anything. Maybe give you some food, but.
Right, you want to go down to the beauty lot, you can get you a big box of food. You can do that for sure. Regina said, my church is small. It depends on the income. We provide a monthly baked steak dinner and bazaar. Bazaar?
Yeah, bazaar. Yeah, it's like
I know I'm pronouncing it right. The context wasn't making sense. In November, they're missing all the money from our monthly dinners. It's scary. I'm sure it is. Like I know it ain't an easy thing. Like an easy thing for the churches either. I just don't think that. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't got the answer. Like I don't know how you find the middle ground to it. Is all I'm saying. Erica says some people say they wear masks for hours at work, so they don't have to wear them. So they don't got to wear them at the grocery store. And if it's the point, then you might as well not wear a mask. Like you're not gonna wear it all the time, then just don't wear it. And I get it. Mistakes happen. You know what I'm saying? I wore my mask all day yesterday, and then my third time going to Home Depot, I forgot the mask. Like
it happens.
It happens. You know what I'm saying? But I never was like, oh, I don't gotta wear it because I ain't at work. Like that's just a stupid attitude. That's dumb. So dumb. Regina said, I think the younger generation think it's all stupid and they're invincible. I agree. That's what it always comes down to. Mine said, I disinfect constantly where I work. The people are just gross. They come in there dirty and touching stuff on purpose. They don't even now act What now as an act of rebellion against the government? Right. That's what I'm saying. Like some people just don't care, so they'll they'll punish you. Somebody that work at a store or a shop or wherever because they mad at the government. Like they go to the governor's house and such stuff. Like if that's the case. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Go to his house and touch his doorknobs. You know what I'm saying? Don't go and put it out on the regular people. This is stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
no, to me, of course, the pandemic is like crazy, but at the same time, I haven't really been mentally affected by it. Being in the house, I'm cool with that. Eating at the house, I'm cool with that. I can cook. So really hasn't been any like damage, but to like people that like to kick it, man, they suffering right now. Suffering real bad.
Figure it out, man. Figure it out, but don't make it worse. Just like Angel
Yeah.
just said. She said, I just received an update on the Citizen app. Cuyahoga County coronavirus is up 4% today compared to the last 7 days. It's going to spread worse now. Yep. I mean, I'm sure y'all seen the pictures of people yesterday down in the flats, you know what I'm saying, practicing the worst display of social distancing ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's it's gonna get worse. Like it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Erica said, "I'm not standing in lines to go in. I'm not standing in lines to go in no store. I understand people getting tired of wearing them. I get that part too. And Erica, I've only the very first day they put limits was the only day I ever had to stand in line for the stores. Um, Other than that very first day, the very first day they said limit the people. Other than that, I never had to wait in line, but I'm sure some people will, especially at like salons or hair stores or
Yes.
whatever stuff like
When I was going to the store yesterday, I seen it was probably a line of 30 people standing outside of Burlington just to shop. And people were coming out with bags and stuff. So it must have been like a crazy sale. But no, I'm not waiting to spend my money like that at Burlington. Like, I'm cool.
Erica said, I thought we were going to talk about religion, or did I miss that? And your mom said, I'm late. Hope I didn't miss much. No, we were going there, but we kind of got sidetracked because, I don't know, y'all know how the conversation go at this point.
Well, we talk about, we dipped and dabbled in the church,
Yeah, we definitely gonna go back to the church and religion because I think it's an important thing. Andrew said if you don't have the Citizen app, you should download and check it out. And then Regina said not to bash my son, but I can't even get through to him to wear a mask. It's so upsetting. I can't get through to him. I'm like, if you don't care about yourself, then what about me, your family? Nope, he still won. Young generation, I hate it. Yeah, young people just don't care, man. They just don't. I mean, I don't want to say they don't care. They just feel like they're invincible and they feel like they know everything, just like we all did when we were younger. We just knew everything, so you couldn't tell us nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I can't really, you can't really hate because we've been through the same stuff. So we know exactly what's going through their head. They don't care about nothing but themselves. But
Right.
so it's like it ain't even a use to like telling your son you should wear a mask because he's not gonna listen to that shit until he gets sick and have a fever and motherfucker can't smell or taste. And then he was like, I should have did it.
So Erica and my aunt said Burlington had a 50% off sale. So now, now I feel like maybe I would have thrown my mask and, when it stood in 50% off at Burlington,
your shoe size is there. No one is touching it. No one.
That's solid. Oh, so I'm good. So your mom said, she said, true statement for the younger generation. However, I wear my mask at work, and when I'm out and about, wearing my mask is for me and you. Exactly. Like young people is just selfish, not on purpose all the time, but they are selfish, and that's kind of what it comes down to. Erica said, I wasn't standing in line for that. My mind is on other things right now. I get it completely. So clearly, if you got something else going on, for sure. But I'm not even saying I would have, and I probably wouldn't have. But it was hot as hell yesterday, so But I would have at least thought twice about it, and then said no.
Yeah.
Andrew said, I almost went to Marshalls, but it just don't. I don't want to keep dealing with shopping in a mass. I'll keep shopping online for a while.
They ain't even open up here.
Marshall, yeah, no, it'll be the same thing. It'll be the same thing. Let me see. My aunt said, I'm assuming this is. She said, tell him if you go to the hospital, you'll be there alone because I can't come visit. That's what I told Mario. That's good advice, man. Tell your son if he got to go to the hospital that he's gonna be there by himself, and then let's see what he let's see what he do then.
The 2-week minimum stay.
Yeah, mandated lockdown, and you know, then let's see if he changes his mind a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So getting back to the churches, man. Look, this is why I love this show, because we can start out on one thing, and then just based on the comments, man, we end up to a whole different place. And I love it. I love it for real. So just getting back to church and religion, for you know, those of y'all that joined late, we did talk about how we kind of felt that church was like one of the more dangerous places that you can go to during all this stuff. And the fact that some pastors and preachers kind of encourage you to come in and turn in your tithes or send your money in or whatever. We wasn't a fan of that part. So what I think that I don't know. Like I don't know if it's like an age thing, like an older church generation versus a younger church generation line of thinking, kind of where like, you know, you got to do or certain thing, like you got to be what do you want to call it? Like you gotta be in church, like in the building. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we want y'all to come. Kind of how Ebony J was talking about the connection. You know what I'm saying? Or are we just younger and we like, you know, we can do this online and be way more efficient?
Yeah, the younger generation is probably thinking, yeah, more efficient. We don't have to touch. I don't even have to get dressed. I don't have to put on a full suit and tie to come to church. I don't have to wear my Sunday's best. I can leave church without being noticed if I wanted to. You know what I mean? But the older generation is, you have to be in the building to receive. The church is where the Lord is at. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's built. You gotta go. But when I see the people on the news being interviewed talking about, the Lord will protect me. I'm not worried about coronavirus. I don't know if that's a logical. I mean, I know where you're coming from, but I don't think it's a logical thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is better protection, God or your N95 mask?
Depends on how fast you want to meet them. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a hurry to hang out, then I don't know, man. Like I don't know. So not just with the coronavirus, but I think even spreading it out, like people that say it's gonna sound bad, man. But like people that say like, or people that, how do I want to put this? People that people that say, you know what I'm saying, like I don't have to worry about certain things because I'm covered in the blood, or you know what I'm saying, my faith is going to carry me through and stuff. Why can't you do both? You know what I'm saying? Like why can't you do both? Why can't you be like a modern human and say, hey, I can have God as my plan and my backup plan is going to be this without that don't mean I'm compromising my faith in God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could do both. Like people that are so one-sided by religion or blinded by religion, or I guess to the point where they can't at least analyze the world around them, or super misguided, and I kind of just go against everything that like I was brought up in the church for my entire life pretty much, and I'm sure you was the same way or close to it or something. So So, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is that people, I don't want to say misguided, but like, why can't you do both? Like, that's one of the things about religion is everything has to be like a one way,
Hey,
and it's a
yeah,
one
yeah,
way
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I most definitely agree with you on that. Think of this. Typical Sunday. Uh, some churches, they have Bible study before church. And the little kids. What is it called?
Sunday school, Bible
Yeah,
study.
Sunday. Yeah, you got Sunday school for the little kids. Then you might
Mhm.
have the early, then you had the early service, right? Then you had the late service. Within these services, the pastor has a procession. He comes in, you sing your hymn, you sit down. People read something from the Old Testament. Somebody reads something from the New Testament. Then it's a selection from the choir. Then it's the pastor saying what he got to say. Then it's communion. Then it's you passing around the collection plate. Then it's the closing hymn, and then it's over. Then after that, you got fellowship after church. Like this is a same thing every Sunday. It's routine. So I guess some people feel if you're not getting that, you're not getting the whole church experience. I guess you
See,
know.
and I agree with that. Maybe it does come down to like a routine. People have been doing it for so long, for a certain way for so long that it's just instilled. Like this is the process. Like this is the way to go. Um, when for me, like doing like the online church, like now it's consolidated. Say we get a good message in. Then if I want to put on Spotify and listen to the Epiphany Media podcast, and then after that, listen to some Fred Hammond or Kurt Franklin or something. Like I can do that, and I can listen to all the fellowship. You know what I'm saying? All the choir selections I want to listen to. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And glorious HD with no mic feedback. You know what I'm saying? Like this is more efficient for me. Like so that's what I'm saying. Like so my biggest thing with religion, or not even religion, but with church is it seems to be a old school mentality and then like a younger new school mentality, and the older people don't seem to even be like open minded to
Anything.
change.
Yeah.
Which, if you were just open minded, you get more young people that would be more interested, or at least more will be less resistant to church and stuff, like church in the traditional sense. If y'all was even open minded to some of the stuff some of the ideas that younger people have.
Right. So then that's where the non-denominational churches come in, which are most of the mega churches. So you had this idea where you don't have to dress up. You come to church. It's a lot of singing. Bands playing. A celebrity might come up. You might hoop at the church, get some B&M. Stuff like that.
Shout out to
And
Cleveland.
that's more out of the traditional church. And a lot of people like that, which is cool. But
Right.
there isn't. But then there isn't a denomination. So I don't know. People don't. The older generation don't like that. So
Yeah, I don't know. Let me catch up in the comments, and then we could talk about mega churches too, because I'm not the biggest fan. Like I just don't, and I'm not even an older generation or super conservative like that. I just don't. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. Let me see. So Virginia said, I think saying the Lord will protect me is naive. God also gave you a brain to wear a mask and use common sense. I agree. Erica said, God covers you when you are obeying instruction. I agree with that. Erica said, if it's told to go in your house, wear a mask, listen to instruction, and obey, because God is in everything, you have to be willing to receive the message. I agree with that completely. Like I agree with that completely. It's like the story about somebody being lost at sea. There's a bunch of variations. Somebody lost at sea, and God, send somebody come by in a rowboat, and they're like, no, I'm waiting on the sign for God. Somebody come through with a cruise come by, and they're like, no, I'm waiting on the sign from God. Then the guy died, and they go to God like, hey, I was waiting for a sign, but I sent you two. Like I sent you a cruise ship. Like, I sent you something small like a motorboat, and I also sent you a cruise ship. Like these are your signs.
right.
So I agree with you that you have to first off use common sense, and then like Erica said, if you follow the instructions, like how you know that those instructions are not God sent? Like, how do you know? You got to be willing to receive the message.
Right.
Let me see. Angel asks, he said, is dress code a requirement at your church? Question to everyone. Every church I've ever been at, except for like special occasions like Easter, I think, and maybe like New Year's, it wasn't like a dress code. Like you pretty much come as you are type of a situation. What about you, B?
Pretty much the same thing, but I mean, I wasn't wearing no. I don't think I was wearing no jeans. To church since I was grown.
For sure.
And I feel
Almost called you.
weird. I feel weird if I do. Just cause.
Did you wear jeans to church?
Yeah.
I almost called you a Mormon. I was about to say they wear Mormon, Lutheran. It's close, man.
No, hell no, it's not close. No,
not the religion is close, but the name Mormon, Lutheran is close. Regina said, she said, not that God won't protect you, but you can't go out in the world challenging everything, saying unprotected. I agree. Erica said, her church is to come as you are. Regina said, no, you wear anything. Let me see. My aunt said, she said, you said it, religion. Some people are so religious that they lose common sense. Church is about your relationship with God, but the Bible does instruct you to assemble with each other. We stopped going early on because we have people with compromised immune systems, and our pastor understood. So that's good. Well, that's how somebody has to be. Like you can't be so like that. You put it perfect. Like you can't be so religious or so wrapped up in a routine or like if we don't do this, then it's not church. That you can't view the world and say, hey, this might be dangerous, or we have people that are at risk, and because of that, this wouldn't be a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not even like capable of understanding that, then I don't know. Like I'm gonna start questioning these people's leadership skills as leaders or as the leaders of churches.
Hey, treat it like the plagues, that came. If you didn't put the the blood the blood from the lamb above your door, your firstborn was gone. You know what I'm saying?
Out of here, gone.
You didn't.
You know what? Look, I don't know. How many pastors did like sermons or whatever messages on like plagues and stuff like. But this would have been a great opportunity. You know what I'm saying? For something like, hey, this is something that happened in the past. This is something that happened in the Bible. This is what they did. You know what I'm saying? The rules were, put the blood above your door frame. And if you didn't, then bad stuff will happen. Like, so if they tell you to put a mask on and stay in the house, you might want to put a mask on and stay in the house. Like, this would have been a great opportunity. I don't know who did it or who didn't, but that would have been great.
If somebody say don't turn around or you're gonna turn in the sand, what you gonna do? You gonna turn around or you gonna keep it moving?
So crazy. Hey, so crazy, man. So crazy. That would have been good. Let me see. So your mom said, we, the people, are the church. I do not think that way about being inside the building. I enjoy being at home and streaming worship service. I do miss my church family. I still can give my offering each week. Sorry. Brew got me too. My offering each week since the beginning of COVID-19. However, St. Philip is not like it was when you attended. We've changed a lot.
Hey, no shout outs. No shout outs.
That's your mom telling you to come home. That's what that is. It ain't like it was when you was there. That's her telling you to come home. Come bring it home, man.
We want to keep it moving because I had something nice, but I just Keep it moving.
Let me see. So Andrew said, seems to be a struggle for many churches out here to getting young people to commit and step up. Man, I feel like it's so much good I can do in this world, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not just me personally, but the brand, like, man, like, we can tell you how to get young people. I don't even want to say into church, but we can tell you how to keep them from leaving. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty much what we've been talking about here today. Is like, man, you got to be open minded. You got to be open to change. You got to be open to doing stuff different. You got to be open to one of the most, and I never got a chance to attend it, and like I never can remember the name of it, but some church that like they cater to like men that don't like to go to church or whatever, and so they're aware that the Browns play at 1:00. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get you in. We're gonna have a message. We're gonna get you out of here so you can get home for the Browns game. Like you know, like you have to cater. Like you can't do everything the same exact cookie cutter way and expect it to fit everybody, especially when nowadays you have so many distractions and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like when we were younger where you had a Game Boy maybe, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like you was in church, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody got a cell phone. You got social media. So even if you are in church, you can be playing a game on your phone, or you could be a million miles away and not paying attention in church. You know what I'm saying? Like we couldn't even sleep when I was a kid. Like my grandmother, you would get whooped right there, and everybody just look at you like, "Damn, fell asleep." Like you fell asleep, huh? That's how I go, man. Shouldn't fall asleep.
Yeah, man. Damn, I forgot now, but yeah, to get, I think to, get people in the, well, like you said, it's to get them to stay in the church. For this generation, it's hard, man. It's hard. But that church that you mentioned, oh, I remember now. So, my senior year in high school, the religion teacher, I went to, religious high school. He put on the board, your chances of still going to church after you graduate. It said, both parents go to church in the household. You're the most likely to stay in church. If one parent only goes to church in a household, you going to church drastically drops. And then if no people going to church, then you basically really not going at all. So, do you think you going to church has been affected by people in your family going or not going to church, or is it just a personal decision?
I think me not going is definitely a personal decision. But going, for sure, 100,000%, it is a factor of like my family and stuff. Like I said, my grandmother was a minister, and before that, she was in church for X amount of years and all this stuff, and all my aunts and everybody. So I can hands down say that the reason I was going to church was because of them, right? Now, would I have went to church if they would not have been? Like, I don't know. It's hard to say because if you've never been introduced to it, like you kind of don't have the exposure into like maybe college or something. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody go to college, so it's kind of tough to say that.
Right.
But hands down, the decision to go was my entire family was in there for sure.
Yeah.
Let me see. Andrew said, seems to be a struggle. Oh, no, I already said that one part. Regina said, and I think this is pretty dope. She said, our preacher made a drive last week, went around calling first and dropping off a monthly booklet of our daily bread. He had them in a Ziploc with scriptures. He suggested to read. He wore a mask. That's good. That's being able to adapt.
Right.
That's being open-minded to, hey, we can't have people out here, but I still want to have the connection with my congregation. I'll do the work. I'll print it. I'll, spend, a lot of money. I mean, I don't know how big your church is. I know you said it's small, but I'll spend the $50 or whatever in paper and ink is going to cost me to print off all these sermons for you guys, and I'll print it out and send one to every household, or whatever the case is. Like, that's somebody that's open-minded and that's willing to adapt, and I think that's the best thing that anybody could do. She said it was nice of him to make all the trips.
Like that's the type of
No, you good.
what I was gonna say.
Faded, I don't know.
Some. Oh yeah, that's a good leader in the church. To man, yeah. I'm not faded. I was reading something, but man, yeah, but that's a good leader to have in the church, because something. I'm going to turn on my text during the thing. But yeah, that's a good leader to have in the church when they understand, like, look, I want my congregation to be here after this is over with. You know what I mean? Not before. So
that's a good way.
I mean, it's a good way. Be here after, and not past before that.
That's a good way of putting it. Virginia said we were never allowed to play anything like that during church. I agree. My church, neither one of them. As cool as my church was, like, not my grandmother's church, as cool as my church was, still wasn't like none of that playing games. But even though they was way more laid back. Ebony J said that's a slippery slope, because we aren't supposed to conform to what the world wants. You have been able to record TV. You have been able to record TV since very days. You can watch it later. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean in the last part yet. You got to explain that to me. Then let me know. Virginia said, I think people like my son has hung around now. Or I think people my son hung around now as a young adult have changed his views of the world. He decided the church isn't for him anymore. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes it is about the people you hang with. Yeah, sometimes it is about, we talked about burnout before. Like, sometimes, and sometimes you just got to leave and figure out your own pathway. And hopefully, not to put it all on you, Regina, but like, hopefully as a parent, you did enough, or as, like, hopefully his journey will lead him back to the church, or lead him on a path towards God, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day.
Yeah, he could, go through life and, I don't know, something to happen, or he just feel like he need to, go back to church, and he could be right back. I mean, people are on, a journey through life. So, some people be like, this church stuff is bull crap, but then he could probably stay like that forever. And then, some people be like, you know what, I would have Jesus in my life and stuff like that. But I mean, it's life. Like, I'm sure you be sitting here thinking to yourself, like, is God really real? Is Jesus really real? Because, how the hell did I get here? Like, how did humans get here on Earth? Like, no one knows the answer to these questions. You know what I mean? So, hey, it's just normal, a normal thought process.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to faith, just like, everything else. Yeah. Like people in your family, like, there's no real reason why family is loyal or won't turn on each other. You just believe that they wouldn't do that because they're family. Like, you're going off faith. Like, there's no real reason why family is connected. Like, if we're being honest, like, there's no real reason. You know what I'm saying? You just have the faith that, if I need something, this group of people have my back, or if I need something, then this person will still be here. Like, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Angel said, I was thinking the same thing about conforming. Ebony J said, why does the church have to conform? Why can't people adapt to what the church does? I need more context, because I definitely want to answer that question, because I feel like I just don't know in what way that you mean it. Like, what do you mean? Why can't people adapt to what the church does? Let me know, because I definitely want to touch on it. Erica said, right, we have to adapt to this situation. FDJ said, and to your point last week, that costs money. If tides or if title what if title aren't going in, then who pays him? I think he meant tide. If tides aren't going in, then who pays him? Who pays for his gas? Who pays for the material? A VCR equals, oh, you can't record the game. Oh, I see what you mean. No, I agree with that. I'm not saying that churches shouldn't collect tithes and offering. I'm saying for you to tell people to leave their homes, like it's a gang of ways to collect money. I mean, it's a gang of ways to do everything. Like it's more than one way to skin a cat. Like Ms. Randall used to teach us back in Roxborough. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to tell people that I'm not going to go, I'm not going to risk myself to come out and drive around to hand out material or to collect money in person, but I want y'all to come here and risk y'all life to come out and drop off money. That the part I don't agree with.
All right,
I'm
but
not
look,
what
the Bible was written, you know, in BC times. You know what I'm saying? The Old Testament, and AD started after Jesus, all right? Allegedly, people say. If you have faith, believe that happened, right? So, you try to tell me that something that's written that old can't adapt to times in 2020. So, okay, you have to give your tithes, your 10% every week. Okay, why can't I cash app it? You have to, you have to get that off that word, from the Lord every week. Okay, why can't I watch it? Ernest Ainsley, at 11 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
And so I agree with you. I agree with most of what you're saying. So for people to say, so this is another one of my things with religious people, I guess. Kind of what you just said, Ebony, is now you just said why can't people conform to churches? And kind of what Byron just said, as far as you got this thing that was written, however many years ago, BC and AD, you know what I'm saying? Like so that type of thing is solid in stone, and there can't be any variations to it. There can't be nothing amended to it. Yet, like people all the time, something like the Constitution that was ratified in 1776, like they'll say all day, like, oh, these laws and rules don't match up with the modern society. Like they need to change this, and these laws need to be canceled, and all this and all that. And like so, that's a document by standard is nowhere near as old, and everybody's fine with changing that. You know what I'm saying? But there can be nothing that's I don't want to say change, but there can be nothing that's like, oh, maybe this point of view, it just doesn't it's not for today. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Like whatever it is not for how people in society live today.
You see that last chapter in the Bible, Revelations, where they talk about, if anybody changes anything in this book, you'll
it is, yeah.
So that's in the Bible. So I guess they feel like, well, nothing can be changed, or this and that. But for times like this, like things need to be changed, But
I don't even mean change, because in Ebony J said, I'm not talking about in pandemic times. I don't even mean change. Like change might be the wrong word, but just to say, okay, so I get it. In the times where the world was much smaller, and saying everything was way closer together, that it just doesn't, like, there is no, I mean, the stories are the stories, right? So I'm not talking about that, but some of the messages can't be they can't be like I said, I don't want to say change, but they can't be like where you just like open to a more modern interpretation. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. So when you do that, you run the risk of people being false prophets, You run the risk of people changing it for where they want it to be and not what it actually is. I completely understand that. Like, but that goes into my point of like some things and some people just refuse to change or just be open minded about. Well, maybe this didn't mean that. Like maybe
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And I ain't saying like in the Bible how they talk about like homosexuals or whatever, and now how now in today's society that is way more acceptable and stuff like that. Like, I'm saying like you got to change your entire point of view or whatever. Like, but like you know, so like, what are you going to do though? Like, are you going to
Yeah.
hate all gay people because they're gay, or are you going to love your neighbor? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't pick and choose. Like what are you going to do? Like you
See,
got to
look at
be
this.
open to conversation always.
When when I was younger, we was in a youth choir, and we asked the pastor, "Can we sing Kirk Franklin's Stump?" And it was
It's like
a
hell
resound,
no.
right? Resounded no. Like damn, we can't even do the hottest song.
On
Hottest
the,
song on the
yeah,
chart.
that's what I'm saying. Like just not even being open minded, man. Just not at all. Let me see. Erica said, if tithes has nothing to do with your soul, then why are we still doing it? You can't pay your way into heaven. A pastor position is a calling. He doesn't even have to have a building if he can't afford it. And if the congregation can afford to pay tithes during the crisis, then they can only give what they can, even if it's a penny. I agree with that 110%, Erica. Like you have to be, like it has to be, it has to be, I don't want to say it has to be rules, but it has to be something where you can say like, all right, it is, I lost my job. Like, so am I still required, am I still required to give my 10% to the Lord? Like, is that a show of faith? I believe he's going to make a way and provide. So I have to still give my 10%. You know what I'm saying? Or do you like, well, he understands my situation and he knew if I had the 10% to give, then I would, but I can't right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It always seems to be like a kind of caveat with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, is God the all-knowing, understanding, compassionate God, or is he the angry, revengeful God? You know what I'm saying? That the Bible shows both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so which one is it to you? Is open to interpretation. So I would think modernly people would be more adept to the information and just more open-minded to change and just doing stuff a different way. This is all I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Ebony J says she want to call in. Ebony J, we might have to get you on the line.
Hey, so why you do that? So I was watching that that movie Harriet, about Harriet Tubman
Mm-hmm.
and her taking taking the slaves up north to freedom. And nigga, the first 5 minutes, the black pastor is reading to the black slaves while the slave masters are there, and they say he was reading the Bible. He says, you must honor your slave masters or something to that rhetoric you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a question that I pose to you, as African American, somebody who comes from African heritage, somebody who was most
Black.
definitely brought over here on a boat. How do you feel about the Christian religion that was put on us by slave masters? And in this book, it said that you must obey your slave masters, but hey, wait, but
Mm-hmm.
to further that, what you just said about change tradition in the church and things that say in the Bible, with Harriet Tubman, she defied she defied that what it said in the Bible to obey your slave masters, and she went north, but the religion was still kept, by slaves throughout history, and it was 2020 today. So how you feel about that?
So I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's interesting because I mean, like it's one of those questions that we'll never know the answer to. Like if black people were to stay in Africa, like if slavery never happened, right? will we still be like? Will we still believe in Christianity?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like who knows? Like maybe not. I mean, Jesus was in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, but possibly not if Britain wouldn't have came over and took over most of the world. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't know. That's a great question. To be honest. Um, so with that, I don't know. I can't. It's hard to say. As well as even just being like I'm a huge science guy. I'm a huge science fan, and some of the stuff with religion don't add up, and then some of the stuff about science like that, like the question that I don't know. Like I feel like it's room for both, but it is challenging at times where you see like science to say this, and this, and religion don't have an answer for it, and then you see times where like religion have like this, and this, and science don't have an answer for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely see both of them. Like, but it's just tough. Like I don't know. These are like the answer to questions that I think is going to be extremely tough uh, to answer. Like I don't know how you ever be able to answer like these questions.
Right. Exactly. You can't. That's why,
And then,
it's
and
the
then
same thing. You gotta have faith.
let me just say this last thing, and then so even like the King James version of the Bible, allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but allegedly, like that was some stuff he omitted some stuff and changed some stuff too, based off of what he believed and what he wanted his people to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like so, I can't say that unequivocally, but that's you know that's what I hear. Let me see. Let me jump into the comments real quick since I went away for a second. Emily J said, churches have done things to change. Church is nothing like it was when I was growing up, and people still aren't going. So, Ebony J, you tell me, why do you think people are not going to church right now? Like, what do you think churches can do to change? Or you tell me why you think people are leaving the church? Like, what do you think it is? And she also goes on to say, it's two different topics going on here and mixing things up. Is my job is a call. Oh, is a call, but I'm still getting paid. My aunt
Who said
said the
that?
problem. Ebony said that it's her job. She can do it over the phone, but still getting paid as if she wasn't doing it through the phone. My aunt said the problem is people back in the day weren't is what she said studying the Bible. They just believe the pastor's interpretation. That is huge. That is a huge thing. With anything, with school and science and religion, especially, like they just like, oh, so and so said it, and I trust them, and I'm gonna believe it because they said it. When you look at the Catholics having all this stuff with the kids or the boys or whatever, like people just blindly followed. You know what I'm saying? With these priests or whatever, I don't even know what they're called. Had to say, and then all the scandals come out about them molesting boys and stuff, and then people still follow the Catholic religion, and now they got a new pope in there that's saying stuff like gay people they're okay, they're still our brothers and sisters, we got to love them as such, and they hate the pope, they hate this new pope, and they hate him for being so accepting. He's open minded, and they hate him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so what pedophilia was is acceptable, being open minded about some wild shit, but you can't be open minded about people wanting to be gay or whatever. So
hell no.
But see that's what problems that I have with the church, right? So you say. Like Ebony said, church, is not supposed to conform to you. You're supposed to conform to the church, right? So
Right.
in a society, the LGBT community is going through it, and they may believe in God, right? But the church don't believe in them, right?
Don't believe in them. Exactly. Like I don't know nothing personally, but I know of this one guy. He's huge Christian or whatever. Like he believes in God, and he sins like the rest of us, but he really believes. But he gay, and he got to deal. He got to wake up every day, and it's like I don't know. And I'm sure there are places that are friendly, to gay people or transgender people, whatever, what I'm saying. But most churches are not. Most people are not. I know some real religious people that don't like the transgender bathroom situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they still your brother or your sister, so you're supposed to love them. But I don't know. It's
Everybody
one of
don't. Hey, they ain't following the teachings, huh?
right, right.
I don't like men's no more. That's what they have at the church service.
Like you said, that's a whole other conversation. We can have that conversation too. Because, like honestly, I don't know what would be the case if we never were servants. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me see. Regina said, our church says they believe my 10% is given back by my work I do for the church. I make nut rolls. This is Regina saying this, not me, by the way. So I had to pause it. Chicken soup things like that for the bazaar to bring in money. I help with the children's scavenger hunt. My point, I don't pay out 10% in cash. They are happy, even grateful for my tithes. See that, and that's what I think it is too. Like as a service, like I feel like tithes can be whatever it is, your gift, you're offering to your church or the people that you fellowship with or to God. Like your tithe is supposed to be for God. So whatever it is that you're serving, your service is to God. I feel like that should be your 10%. If it's 10% of your time, or if it's like whatever it is, like I feel like that should even be flexible. I get it. Like stuff don't know money, churches need money. I completely understand that, but sometimes people don't got it, and you can do other stuff.
Hey, but a lot of churches ain't even, a lot of churches not even want to hear that. They got your order number, your checking account number, and every Sunday they taking it out. Yeah, you got your stimulus check. They get 10% gone, 120 gone. No, that ain't 120. It's wrong. I'm wrong with my math. All right, but you know what I mean.
I'm bad at math, but your math was really bad right there. Let's see. My aunt said, I think we would still be Christian if the word would have found us. I can't argue with that. I can't dispute it because it's a very, very possibility for sure. Ebony J, check your email. I sent you an email like 1,000 minutes ago. Check your email. Your personal email. Ebony J said, she said, no, my job is a calling, as in like some pastors, like that's a calling. She said, but I'm still getting paid. I mean, kind of, but everybody can say that. Just because you're good at something, or you feel like it's a talent of yours. Of course, you want to get paid for it. Like I feel like our ability to communicate, although systems could be better and all that stuff, but like our ability to have the show and stuff can be a calling. You know what I'm saying, that we should get paid for. You know what I'm saying, but that's not how it work all the time or whatever. My aunt said the King James Version is a translation from Hebrew. If I translate from English to Chinese, something is going to be lost in translation. I get it.
How much?
I was told that it was more than that. Like some stuff, like some stories was left out, but I don't know. Like I wasn't that back around. And even no matter what is left out or put in, like it all comes down to faith and what you actually believe in. So that part don't even matter. But you're not wrong. If you translate something from one language to another, of course there's gonna be some stuff left out for sure. Your mom said, Byron and Emmanuel, Bart wants to say that you two scholars should finish college online.
What does that have to do with the conversation?
Wait a minute. Tell Bart, my God, but don't shoot at us. Don't shoot at me. and he shot the players because they call us scholars. People only say scholars when they being smart.
All right, that'll do the conversation. Hey, we
tell boy don't shoot at me, man. I'll tell him I'm offended.
Look, hey, can I move back home so y'all can pay my bills so I can have time to go to college?
College, yeah. We can do it online now since we just talked about how good church is online. We should all do college online then. Let me see. My aunt said, you could be open minded and still hold your values. I can support and love you, but I don't have to accept what you do or what goes against the Bible. I agree with that. But find me some people that's able to separate the two. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't many people that can separate the two. I mean that is why gay people that grew up in the church or whatever, that's why they don't feel comfortable going to churches. They'll still praise or whatever they're doing in their personal time, I'm assuming, I don't know. But they don't feel comfortable going to like a building that houses other people that potentially judge them or look at them a certain way. I mean, young women, like younger women in their 20s and between 20 and 30 or something like that, like they get judged when they come to church wearing tight dresses or dresses that the older generation might consider too short or too tight or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even though this your daughter and you had your daughter in church the entire time and she's still in church, but now she don't feel comfortable because you're making her feel bad for wearing a short dress or a tight dress. Because she's distracting the pastor, you know what I'm saying? Like all this all this crap, like you know what I'm saying? When she's just living her life and the pastor can't control himself or whatever. So now she's the problem. You gotta bring out that little white cloth or whatever to cover up their legs and you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Emily J said the Bible speaks to this also, but again, another slippery slope. I get it. And my aunt said I can still be around you. I get it. I get it. Like you can do both, but not everybody can. I wasn't saying you specifically or anybody in my family specifically or anybody I know specifically, but a lot of people, the general consensus they don't enjoy outsiders like that. Shit, you got some churches that black people ain't welcome in, but they do all the church and God and love your brother and all this stuff, and black people don't feel comfortable going in there. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen a video and I thought it was staged, but it's a real video of like a black dude down south. He's like, he moved to some small town. He's like, well, I'm gonna record this, like just in case or whatever. He was driving, just walking on the road, came to go to a church, and like white dude was out like hammering the mailbox in or something. He's like, yeah, like it was regular normal conversation. He's like, yeah, like y'all, it's like how so y'all got any black members? They was like, no, we don't got no black members. He was like, but like, what if it was like interviewing, like, what if y'all have black people? Like, why would that matter? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like legit, like, why would having black people or not having black people matter? Like, why would that has nothing to do with nothing? Dude, like, hey, I've been down here like 2 months. He's like, I went to a couple of different churches, and he's like, he didn't feel welcome. He didn't feel comfortable. He felt like he was getting stares and stuff. All for just being black, like just being another guy. So you can't tell me that might be a thing, but when gay people go to a church or whatever, they'll feel comfortable.
Yeah, I seen that video before that you're talking about, and yeah, that most definitely wasn't staged. But
I thought it was staged at first, but the more you watch it, you can tell like that was a real video.
Yeah, but just think about it, going down south. You know what I'm saying? Small town.
Anyway, yeah.
You're the only black person around.
Yeah, good. Yeah, they accepted them in the daytime and then put a cross in his yard at night.
Look, hey, don't the Ku Klux Klan read the Bible, don't they?
They do.
You know what I'm saying? So come on now.
Let me see. So my aunt said, whoa, this should be a good discussion. She said, he can control himself. Why would you want to tempt him? Some women do that just to test their strength. I agree with you. Women, and not just at church, women do stuff to test their see if I still got it meter, to see if I just got a relationship. Let's test the scene. Like women do it all the time, not just in church. So I agree with you 100%. If that's her, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
If that's the reason that she's doing it, if that's the reason that she's wearing a tight dress or a short dress or whatever, is to tempt the pastor or to tempt any of the people in church. If that's the reason that she's doing it, that's her goal or whatever, then I don't agree with that, of course, right?
Look,
but women, you are a woman. If you work hard to get your body the way that you want it or whatever, and you want to show off your body or you want to whatever, your body, it's your body, just do whatever you want to do. Why aren't you allowed to do it? Like, why is it called tempting just because you're doing it in church or whatever? When on the flip side, if you say some girl was walking down the street in a tight dress and somebody like, oh, she was asking for it, you're like, how? She was just wearing a tight dress. Mm-hmm. It's her body. She can do what she want to do. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So if she's walking down the street and that's not tempting somebody to, I don't even want to say rape her, but you know what I mean? If that's not tempting a guy to talk to her or whatever, then it also can't just be tempting because she wears a tight dress in church. Men should learn how to control themselves.
She must have heard that the best place to find a woman is in church. So she wanted to attract some of the single members of the church. So she dressed up, but yeah.
Ooh. So let me see. So Regina said, Ebony J, to Ebony J, yes, I know this, but you can only give what you have. Then my aunt said, there's a time and place for everything. I'm not wearing my swimsuit to work. I agree with that, right? But at work, you have a dress code. Like they say, put on this uniform, this is what you come in, or wear business casual. We're not going to say what you got to wear, but it got to be business casual. When you're going to church, there is nothing that says suit and tie, long dress that touch your shoes and a hat. You know what I'm saying? Like there are no dress codes. So don't judge her for being tempting or whatever if you're not going to judge somebody else for coming in there with ripped clothes, because that's what he wanted to wear. He wanted to wear the jeans. Like, oh, I can't believe he's wearing jeans at church. When you told me to come as I am, this is how I am. I wanted to wear this, and this is what I wore. I agree that there is a time and place for everything, but just to play devil's advocate, like you can't. Your job says it's a dress code. Church, there is no dress code, so why can't they wear what they want to wear?
Mm-hmm. I mean, so if the I think people hold like pastors or people in the church to like a certain standard or something, like a not like for those 2-3 hours you hold these people to a certain standard. Outside the church they can do and say whatever, but in the church you gotta. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like pastors spit too. Hey, I know you seen a couple 3 months ago, probably when the one pastor was on you had a video going around of him what do they call it? Do you know what I'm talking about? I ain't seen the video though.
I don't know. You said that video.
I guess the pastor, it was a video of the pastor in somebody's church. He was having sex with somebody, one of the people in the congregation, and it was on film, and he had a wife at the church or something.
Oh, that's crazy. I haven't heard about that. I really haven't heard about that or seen a video. That's crazy though.
Yeah, it was going around. I mean, it was deleted before I even got to it, but that's what everybody was talking about. Like people was him for Halloween.
Oh, the dude had the long tongue, like, oh no, I'm Pastor Johnson or whatever it was. Yeah, I do remember. I do remember that. That was almost 6 months ago or something now. But I do remember that. That's funny.
Hey, so pastors can't get tempted, but I mean, people are normal, but everybody like the church don't make you not human. You know what I'm saying? You're not Jesus.
Not a normal person.
You can try to be Jesus-like, but it's not going to happen.
Man, Jesus got tempted. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody gets tempted. It's about are you able to resist the temptation? Like
He
it's
was
not.
Jesus. So
And
he
that's
was
Jesus.
good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you know what I'm saying? Like nigga, Jesus did it right, but he didn't do it with flying colors. You know what I'm saying? So what hope do we got? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Like nigga, Jesus was. He was like, man, nigga sat in that desert, like, man, like you know. I don't know, man. Angel said, I know a lot of churches have relaxed dress code, but you aren't supposed to show up in your best. You are. You're supposed to show up in your Sunday best. Yes. That's literally where the term comes from. My aunt said, common sense. There are unwritten dress codes. If I say don't come over my house in your drawers, I have a right to give A, give you clothes, or B, not allow you in. That's your personal house. Those are your house rules. Those are your house rules, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like, but it's not your like your church is not your church because you own or the pastor. That's not your church. That's God's church. And if God say come as you are, then you technically shouldn't be turning away anybody. Technically, because it's not your church. First off, and then secondly, like I said, control yourself. Like, so if a homeless nigga showed up and he ain't had nothing but nigga basketball shorts and his balls was out, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would be like, oh, you can't let this homeless nigga with his balls out. Like, you know, he wanted to find salvation, but he got his balls out. Like, sir, can you put your balls in for us? And then we'll let you in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. That's what you want to do. And I'm not like a crazy person. Like, I understand it. But to say that women couldn't wear tight dresses or short dresses because that's what they want to wear, that doesn't make sense to me.
Hey, it was a
Personally,
video.
and it might make sense to you, and that's fine. But personally, to me, if you want to go get in there, if your goal is to be a distraction, then that's something different. But if you are actually a person that just wants to, I work hard for this body. I found this dress I like. I want to wear it on Sunday, and it's my fault that the pastor, you know what I'm saying, ain't with it. You know what I'm saying, or he can't stop looking at me in the front row, or like that's my fault because I was blessed with this body or whatever. It's not. It don't make sense to me.
It was a video of a pastor dressed as a homeless man outside the church. You know, he was like directly, you know, in front of the church asking for change. And you know, had a sign or whatever, and people were just walking by him. And the security came and kicked, you know, told dude he had to get off the property. So then the pastor came for the sermon. Was like, most of y'all walked by me today. Y'all call yourselves Christians, and y'all walk by me. Y'all couldn't even help
me. Man, and the Bible say like, you know, what I'm saying like, the guys that getting the crumbs. I don't remember word for word, but like, you know, the guy that's underneath the rich man's table getting the crumbs, like them the people that's gonna get the most salvation. Like, and people are not even doing that. Your mom said pastors are humans too. I completely agree with that. You're right, 100%. Auntie Fee said the church is God's house. It's still a business. Look, I'm just playing. Look, I understand. I really do. I'm just playing devil's advocate. So don't beat me down too much for it. Regina said our church has a box of clothes. It isn't for people who aren't dressed well enough. It is to better someone. We've allowed people to say what they want. So I agree with that. Oh, Regina also said earlier, my bad. My mom, church requires you to go all out. They require big money. I don't feel comfortable at the church, so I don't go to that one anymore. I agree. Auntie Fee said, I never said they couldn't wear it. I just said use common sense. I agree with that. I really do agree with that, but I'm just saying that if that was your last, why would you even have to think about it? You should be able to wake up and just put on whatever you want to wear and then go receive a message. That's how I feel about it. But finally, we got hold on, let me check in the last comment real quick. Mine said, some people think showing your arms in church is not right. The point is to come as you are. but the word of God will not allow you to stay that way. I mean, it also say don't wear hats in there. Like guys not supposed to wear hats in there, but women wear hats. Like the rules are just weird. Like the rules are just weird.
The elders want to kill you where you hat. Where you hat.
That's what I'm saying, man. So look, finally we got Ebony J to join us. I'm about to bring her on. She backstage in some kind of a hoopty mobile. I don't know where she's at. I was like, I didn't bring it.
Mobile conversations with Ebony J.
Bring Ebony J in.
I ain't never got no hoopty. And y'all know the hustle don't stop. So yeah, I'm in my car because I'm working. But this is definitely a good topic. And I think y'all doing a good job. So let me be clear about that. But y'all have had a lot of generalizations, and just because y'all talked about a lot of stuff, I ain't gonna try to go into too much of stuff. But the one thing I definitely want to talk about is like the dress. True, you know, you should come as you are, but like Arminta said, the last comment is that you shouldn't stay that way. So there's something totally different. And even if you think about it too, when you're talking about stuff like clubs, there's a certain way I'm not going to a club. You're not going to see me in no regular jeans, and no t-shirt in no club. Like you're not going to see me like that. I'm going to dress a certain type of way. And there was one time I did go to the club like that. This was back in the day when people was wearing jerseys. And I normally wear a jersey dress. So this one time I'm like, all right, I ain't really feeling it. I think it was cold or raining or something. So I'm going to wear some jerseys, some tennis shoes, some jeans. Man, I did not stay the whole night because that wasn't how how I rose to the club. Like when you see me, I'm going to have on heels. I'm going to have on makeup. I'm going to have on stuff. So when you think about stuff like that, or like Arminta said, when you're not going in your swimming suit. And sometimes the part that what I don't like is that people want to put church in a box, but then they don't want church to put people in the box. So like you're saying, we are supposed to love our neighbors. We are supposed to do, all of these type of things. And the same way that a gay person, which y'all actually brought it up too, though, but the same way that, a gay person feels uncomfortable, when you're in sin, period, when you go to church, you should feel uncomfortable because they should be speaking to that sin. They should be speaking to, if you're an alcoholic or if you're fornicating. So you should feel comfortable, period. But like y'all said, where the church go wrong is what shouldn't be happening is you shouldn't be attacking the person. The focus should be on the sin and not on the person.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And that's where it gets messed up. So there are churches that y'all are talking about, that there are things that y'all are talking about that churches do, but you have to be careful too when you putting it out and not generalizing it because all churches aren't like that. So then the other thing is when we're talking about tithe and offering. So when I was saying about, I think Erica has said about it being a calling and different things like that. That's absolutely true. But sometimes that's somebody's full-time job. So when people talk, and I'm not talking about y'all specifically because y'all didn't say this, but I always like to talk about this when we're talking about churches. When people specifically talk about why this tithe and offering, why is it this, why is it that? But the fact of the matter is tithe and offering is for a lot of things. Yes, it may go to leadership salary, but it also goes to bills. It also goes to things like I'm saying too, when you have churches that have bills. When you have maintenance to that, when you have churches that have these dinners, remember Byron, you was talking about the dinner. Sometimes it's a potluck, and sometimes the church supplies those things. Yeah. When you have back to school giveaway, like where is this money supposed to come from? A lot of people think that money is supposed to come from the pastor, and that don't make sense. Jay-Z ain't paying you to come to his concert. You know what I'm saying? Like you pay him, and I'm not saying that we're paying the pastor, but I'm just saying to keep that, I guess to add a correlation to that. And then what Regina was saying is that the Bible, a lot of people don't speak on this, but the Bible actually, and I don't know exactly what scripture it is, but it does talk about that. Like your that's why they have tithe and offering. You know what I'm saying? And there is a scripture that talks about that when you're giving your services, like your 10% can come in any form or fashion. But like I said, that's a slippery slope because some people will intentionally not pay their tithe and offering, but they'll go and they'll do something for the church and try to say like, oh, well, I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be careful. Go ahead. What was you about to say?
No, I agree with you. Some people would try to bypass or minimize their actual giving. Like, oh no, I brought brownies and that's my 10%.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Exactly.
not doing like the true service to God or to the church, but just like, oh, I'm gonna do something other than give money, and that's my 10%. And they'll take advantage of the situation. I completely agree with that, and that wasn't what I was saying. But I understand what you mean. Like, I agree that it should be. And you said it's like a verse in the Bible. I don't know what it is either, and I've never read it. You know what I'm saying? But if it says that your 10% can be like service, it don't have to be money. If it is money, great. But like a 10% of service, your time, your energy, your effort, like whatever your 10% is that you're able to give, then that should be acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but the pastor does get paid from those offerings and those tithes, like a percentage of it. So
Not every pastor. Not every pastor. It depends on what's in their
really,
contract. It depends on their congregation. It depends, and I know this for a fact because, like Nayo said, my grandmother was in leadership. I have been in not official leadership positions, but in, so I guess like what would be considered work or middle management type of situations. And so I know for a fact that there are certain pastors who do not get paid. For the church that we grew up in, whenever the church has a deficiency, there has been times where he has put money there. That the church that we go to or went to is on Martin Luther King. Our business still goes there, so she can attest to that. But that church is a very big church, and that church was paid off in the 90s when we got that church years ago. So there's why the offering don't go to that, but there's a lot of maintenance that has to go to, repairs and stuff like that. So there is times where the gas bill has the gas bill is extreme because it's a big church, and the gas bill has been thousands of dollars, and him and his wife had paid it, and he didn't take, or he had did things like that where he didn't get a salary at that point, and it went to paying those bills. So it depends on the situation of the church versus, like, it's not like the pastor get paid first and then whatever else is left, it goes. It don't work like that all the time. Now, there's some people who they get paid regardless, no matter what. But that's a whole different situation. But overall, that's not always the case.
so what do you think about going the route of the mega churches? Do you think they go that route because they can get the maximum amount of money for doing their service?
I think that's another thing that has to be individual. The church that I was just telling y'all about, back in the 90s, that church was a mega church. And it had nothing to do, and we had a lot of church splits, but it was never, I never heard of anything to do with money. And like I said, that church building used to be in a civic center, and then a lot of people went and all of that stuff, and then that church got paid. So from my understanding, there's never been an issue of the finances being misappropriated. Now, there was some other stuff that happened, but it wasn't financial. So I don't think that people necessarily start out to, of course, your vision, you want anything to be big. We talk about Epiphany Media. It started off with y'all doing radio to media to having, all these different shows and stuff like it. Eventually, it's going to be a multi-million-dollar company. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same type of thing with the church. Not necessarily that their vision is a multi-million-dollar company, but the more people you have, the more people you service, the more people you can reach. And so sometimes mega churches, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that people set out for that vision or that their intentions are wrong. But of course, you have some people like that. I think that people all, people, even like I said, the reason why I said specifically about like my job is a calling, is because people seem to think that way in the social service field. They don't believe or value that, social workers specifically should get paid a lot of money, or it's like you should be doing that for free. And I'm looking like never. Like, why? Why? Like, seriously, why? Because you know how much I pour into people on a daily basis, and sometimes I do it for free. I just did it for free a couple hours ago. Somebody called me like, my friend going through this, and I technically gave them a counseling session for free. But at the end of the day, I got bills that have to be paid. I have responsibilities. I have all type of stuff. I spend a lot of work. I spend a lot of money, and a lot of time and effort into my stuff, and it's the same thing. But for some people think that churches that money don't go hand in hand, and that's not true. And even in the pandemic time, so people are talking about that tithe and offering. there are some of the members who lost jobs or can't work or got sick or whatever, and the church is supposed to come in and step in and help those people. And there are churches who do that. I know a church particularly who the people can come every week and get free food from the churches. But again, where does that money come from? Churches are nonprofit, so they don't get all type of funding and different things like that. And then churches don't get funding too because a lot of funding you can't restrict people. And churches restrict people to an extent. So the money has to come from somewhere.
Okay. I can agree with that. I can understand that for sure. And I understand that. Like I was never one to say that pastors shouldn't get paid or have a paycheck. Like you said, there are some of those pastors that do this for a full-time job. Like, so I completely understand that. And I understand that bills got to be paid, even in a pandemic. Bills and mortgages and stuff got to be paid. So I was never one to say that. I just I didn't like how some churches, and when I say some churches, I don't mean like churches in our neighborhoods per se, or like your average church or whatever wasn't saying come out and drop this money off, but there were bigger churches. I don't know if it's quite mega church. It made national news, so I'm pretty sure it had to be mega church levels to say like, hey, come out your house. Now, I hear the government saying, but come out your house and come do this. Like, that was the stuff that I didn't agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting money, like we said at the very beginning, or Venmo or whatever. But like,
I agree.
That's the part I don't agree with.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there are some stuff like y'all was saying that, like there are some churches or some believers or some whatever where it was foolishness. Churches didn't close. They were like some of the last places to close, which is foolishness to me. And like I said, there are some people who have services. You will not see me at church, but you also won't see me at a lot of places. You know what I'm saying? Like you just, me personally, you won't even all the way to where I'm preparing to homeschool my kids next year. My kids, in my mind, at this point, my kids are not going to school next year because that doesn't make sense. This stuff is not going away because they opening stuff back up. So I agree. It's a lot of stuff that I agree with. That's why I was saying that the conversation, a lot of stuff that I was speaking to was not particular to the pandemic because there has to be different things. So there has to be service that's done a different way. There has to be, a lot of stuff. And when we're talking about even tithe and offering and stuff, since people are, a lot of stuff not being used. There's not a lot of electricity being used. There's not a lot of stuff. When the churches do open back up, there should be a lot of churches in the green, or a lot of churches, will overflow or be able to do stuff if, again, the money is handled correctly and if people are tithing. So, it's a lot of stuff. The last thing I want to say, and then I know y'all probably got comments, but the last thing that I want to say is what I really got on here for is that when we're talking about, like, we have to be careful about what we saying or what we thinking, because when we're talking about conforming, so like I said, church is nothing like it was when we were little. It's completely different. The last church that I was going to, we literally was in church for I think like an hour and a half or something, and that worked for me sometimes, and sometimes it didn't, because sometimes I feel like the focus got lost. Where I'm used to a church where the Holy Spirit can move, or spiritually things happen, but that takes time. And so if you're being focused on that hour and a half or whatever, I want to say hour and a half, if you focus on that, then sometimes I felt like I didn't always get what I needed. But then there's sometimes, or I've been in church where you at church all day and it's like it don't take all that, or yeah. Yeah, so churches have been trying to conform. They have been trying to do different things. And so you asked me what I honestly can't say what to do or how to change it. Like, that's something that I would love to always be a part of the conversation. And I think that it's kind of a trial and error type of situation. I think that it is I think that it takes the young people to come in and have these conversations and say what are some of the things that's working and what's not working. I think that they have to participate. I think like what you said, Byron, you have to not only do the old hymns, you have to do newer stuff. But then
Right.
the younger people have to respect, the older hymns. That those are some things that got people through some stuff. Those some things that where you can feel the power of the blood, or all of those type of things. So it's just a lot. Sometimes people will talk but not do nothing about it. It's the same thing with like political stuff. People will talk about these bad presidents, but you ain't getting out involved. It's the same thing with the church. You want to talk about how boring it is, but if the same people doing the same things, then what else? Now some churches won't let you touch nothing if if you ain't in their clique or whatever their thing is. But some churches be like, come on, give us your ideals. But when you give us your ideals, then we want you to start executing those, and people don't want to do that. Or people talk the talk until you get in that position and you see how hard it is.
I agree.
So
I
I
agree
think
with
that
that
it's
for
just
sure.
a matter of everybody coming to the table and the flexibility and accepting that it's going to be some old ways and some new ways. Because like the pandemic has taught us that we can do this. Like we could for real life stay in our house for a whole nother month or for the rest of this year for real. Like Byron
Yeah,
said,
we really
and be
could.
okay. Because we
Right.
making it work. We still work. And then another thing too, people are using the pandemic as an excuse because some people are saying, I can't pay tithe and offering because of this. But some of us are actually saving money, or some of us have money to save, or because like, what do you really, I would have bought summer clothes by now. What am I buying summer clothes for? Where my kids going? Like normally I might have spent, a couple of $100. My kids getting like 5 outfits, and I'm not playing because they're not going nowhere. Like they're not about to have no, you know what I'm saying? So you can make
Right.
adjustments, you can make shifts. It's a mindset. And then like Arminta said too, part of the problem, the reason why stuff was how it was is because people wasn't reading their Bible. And now young people, especially millennials, well I say, millennials and younger, we are not allowing you to just tell us anything. You can't just tell me, God parted the Red Sea or whatever. You can't just tell me that God do miracles or God. You can't tell me that. But what I go by, me personally, particularly, is that I know that some things has happened in my life that only a God could have done. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, and that's what makes me believe, and that's what I believe. And when we get to those type of things, and the churches do have to get to that, you can't just tell me to, that I got to follow this rule and think I'm going to follow it. We're a generation where it's like, why? And if it doesn't make sense, then I need it to make sense. So when
It makes sense.
when you throw all that up in there, then that's I feel like that's how it'll change. That's where we gotta go. And I think that the pandemic is gonna make us do that. I really do.
Well, good. I think hopefully at the end of all this, whenever it's like completely over, hopefully churches, not just churches, but businesses and the government and every layer, and just normal people going about their day. Like hopefully the thinking would be different, and hopefully everybody would just take a moment to, I guess understand where we could be. And then if you got questions about anything, understand like the strength that you have, that we've all shown on display during this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like hopefully everybody, so not just churches, but everybody are able to grow from this experience that we're all going through together.
Yep, it can and it will, because even when we talk about that, this is my little shameless plug real quick, but even when we're talking about mental health, there were a lot of people who didn't. So telehealth has been around for a while, you know what I'm saying? And there were a lot of people who, even as therapists, didn't want to do it. Like, I don't think the connection, I don't think you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same as being face to face, and I can't see their body language, and I can't see that. But what we've been doing, and we're reaching more people. More people are accepting of it. More people are just open to it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that there's no way that we can come out of this thing. Like, there's no way.
Not at all. Not at all. A lot of things gonna change. Like I think more of the internet face to face type of things will stay around, and so you don't actually have to go see people because it's a lot more convenient and it's a lot more safer, with germs and all that type of stuff. So a lot of people will continue to do that, but you still do need some type of social interaction, which I don't think is going away. But I'm cool. for a minute, a long minute.
Yeah, yeah. I think that y'all could tell me this because I don't know for sure. I haven't really been keeping up with it that much. But what about crime? Like, has crime? I know we had the big thing with the people killed the boy in Georgia, and different things like that. But has crime decreased during this time?
Mm-mm.
So we was told that certain crimes have decreased, and then your major crimes they've been pretty much the same. We was told by an officer that crime was pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? And I think certain crimes, certain petty crimes will have to be less just because there's not as much people out. Like when you downtown now, people starting to come back. But before, it'll be nobody downtown. So all those petty, car break-ins, like all that stuff kind of got to go away because no people in those areas. But overall, I think it was pretty much the same from what I was told.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we want to thank Ebony J for doing this. Be sure to check out her podcast. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But and during the course of Ebony J, she do a weekly show. Sometimes it's live. Sometimes you got to just go check the podcast. She got a brand new one that's out today. So go to Spotify, go to Anchor, go to Apple and Google and all these places and listen to her podcast. Ebony, you do got a comment before we go. Byron's mom said, excellent comments, Ebony J. Real talk with a bunch of explanation points. So
thank you.
Be sure to
all right, thanks, y'all.
For sure.
All right, thank you.
So we're running out of time, but the last thing I just wanted to talk about real quick, and then we can catch it in the comments, was two things and that she touched on that I wanted to talk about. One was like the corruption in the church and stuff, but I don't think we have enough time for that. But I did want to touch on ideas for growth, idea for getting young people involved. Like, so something that she had said was, yes, churches got to be a little bit more open-minded. She also said that, young people also have to come and join and be involved. And I agree with that 100%. Mm-hmm. But I think the way to get people involved is by sharing experiences with them, and not just church. Again, like with everything else, you want to get your kid involved in sports because you like sports. I think the best thing to do, of course, you introduce them to them, but then you say, hey, like this is what basketball is, or this is what football is. This is what football did for me. This is what it do for us. This is the possibility. This is what you can be. You introduce them and you say, hey, this is really like, so yeah, basketball is fun, but this is what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So when she talk about those hymns, those old hymns that older people sing that they don't want to let go of. Right. So they don't work for a lot of people. But if you say, hey, I get it. It don't work for you. But like, these hymns go all the way back to slavery time. Like, this is how slaves communicated. This is how slaves was able to get through hardships. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the song. And this is one of the reasons why, why we sing the songs, because like it has this connection to the past or whatever. Like, just to be open to explaining something to people or explaining something to the younger people. And then on top of that, just to add to it, don't pretend like you've just been in church your entire life if you haven't been in church your entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that older people do. They'll swear up and down that just because who they are now, they'll pretend like, I don't want to say pretend, but they don't talk about their past before they got into church. You know what I'm saying? So you have a hard time. So as a young person, you have a hard time of connecting with that person on the same level because you're like, well, you don't even know what I'm going through. Like, you've never been me. And lo and behold, you have, but you don't want to share that experience with that person because you big mama or you grandmama, you know what I'm saying? And you want to be looked at as that, but you done got dirt in your past too. Just like everybody else.
Just look at Malcolm X. Do you think he would have been able to have the impact that he did if he didn't have the past that he did?
That's right. I agree.
So he understood the people. He brought in people like him, and
right.
because they felt like he was speaking the truth or whatever. So
And then people can look like, oh, he went to jail. He did this. He used to rob and steal, and he went to jail and he came out, a new man and closer to God and all this stuff. Like, so, oh, it is hope for me because I can relate to that. Like a lot of older people want to, like I said, they want to. I don't want to say pretend, but they don't like to dive into their past because they want to be respected at the level that they are now, which is fine. But as far as getting people to connect with you, you have to be vulnerable, and sometimes being vulnerable means you have to go back to, a place that you're uncomfortable with, just like they would be.
yeah.
That's what it is. Let me catch up on the comments, and we're going to get out of here, man. It was a great conversation as always. Erica said we can't stay in the bubble forever. I agree, but it ain't going to be a great change for, a little bit, some time for sure. Regina said, unfortunately, I'm thrilled to be out and back to work, but I seriously think we're all going to have a huge setback. Me too. I just hope it's after November so everybody can get out there and vote and do that part of it for sure. Regina said, I hardly see anyone wearing masks. That's true. I don't know. I'm having mixed. No, yesterday I was out all day. I don't know. Some I don't know. I'm about 50%, I guess. Because some stores everybody had them. Some stores nobody had them. So I'm about 50%. Regina said, thanks, Ebony J. Ebony J said, true, but a little younger long term. I agree. Your mom said, have a blessed week. Wear your mask and stay healthy for sure. Ebony J said, she said, yes, you can. Let me see. Yes, you can't be do as I say, not as I do, for sure. Ebony said transparency is a must for sure. Like that's how you connect with humans. Regina said, thanks, scholars. Cheers. Have a great and safe week. Great show. Thanks, Regina, for joining us as always. We appreciate you. Ebony J said, that's the only way it works. We need to see that what you're saying really works. Yes, your whole testimony shouldn't be, I've been in church for 15 years now, and I brought my daughter up in the church, and now her kids is in there. It should be like, look, I was selling drugs, or I was a prostitute, or I was this and I was that, and this was my down moment. And in that moment, I was walking, and I was homeless, and the only place that was open was the church, and I went to the church, and here I am, or something. Like, give me the full testimony.
Hey, but some church don't want you to give you that full testimony. Like you mentioned, a prostitute, old girl, was talking about how.
Oh, nigga, they snapped my mic, nigga. I was doing all right. Look, in the church's defense, though, she could have left it where she left it. She kept going, and then nigga like, wait a minute. So she kept going. Like she could have like, I was a prostitute, or I did stuff for money, but she started describing stuff. They're like, wait a minute, we can't have you doing that. I agree though. That's funny. Angel said, stay extra cautious this week, you guys. Yeah, for sure. Be cautious. The more people get out, the more people go into these stores and stuff, just be careful. Would you say, B?
No, I was just saying to you as just saying to her.
Oh, yeah. Andrew say, stay well, have a great week. Ebony J said, I see very few not wearing them. She said, Ebony said, man, she could have said it differently. She was good at first, but then she just kept going. Like, I used to do this, and I would charge this, and I used to do this, and they're like, wait a minute. Say somebody grab that mic from me. All right, man. So look, I want to thank you all for a great conversation, a great show. It's always good talking something explosive like religion because you get different point of views from different people, different backgrounds, different levels of being a part of a church. You know what I'm saying? Like high level or low level or entry level, like just joining or being in there forever. Different church backgrounds. Like you get a great wide range, and we all can learn a little bit, and we all can just do great stuff. So I do want to thank y'all as always for joining us.
And before I, do my catchphrase, I wanted to say, we finalized. The paperwork on some things. We're gonna wait to make the announcement, but we got some more things coming, which is great for Epiphany Media. You know, we got people joining the family. We'd like to give a shout out to them. You'll find out who they are, you know, and within a week. But always remember to own your own, because you'll be able to do stuff like that, you know. Add to the family, you know, add to ideas, you know, that go with your own, and, you know, make everybody pay it out here, you know.
Hey, that's what it's all about, man. Bringing a voice to the people that don't got one. When we started out in 2012, that's what the goal was. The goal was to help out people that wanted to do positive stuff around the city that didn't have a chance to do it. And we're able to do that, man. We got a fucking platform, my dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? We able to really do that shit. So I'm super excited. Y'all find out more about it within the next week or so. No show next week. Memorial Day, go spend some time with your family.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, I know Memorial Day on a Monday, we get it. But definitely, like I said, spend some time with your family if you can, safely. But be sure to tune in, because we will have posts coming and some news coming and information coming. Regina wanted one more last shout out to that you're at here. So I mean, how can I not indulge? But yeah, man, thanks for joining us as always. Be sure to check out the Epiphany Radio Rewind every Wednesday. Be sure to check out Politics. And that's really how it's pronounced, Politics. On Wednesday, that's a live show. I think this might be the last Epiphany Radio Rewind, so it's the last one, so definitely go check it out. The last one was good too. It's the Cedar Ave Sav show. It was a pretty good one.
Hey, that was probably like one of the better like conversations we had somebody on.
This is a pretty good show, man. So definitely go ahead and check it out. But yeah, hey, thanks for joining us. My man already said, so on your own. I'm gonna tell the city salute, as I always do. And like I said, I'll see most of y'all Wednesday, and no show next Sunday, but we'll be in touch with some news coming up soon. So we'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for joining us.